2018 was a great year for a lot of FPS style games and Battle Royale, as these games seem to flood the market like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or the huge third-person Battle Royale game that has dominated lately called Fortnite. We see that there is still a dedicated fan base for the real-time strategy genre. In my opinion, there are still tons of people who play these games, as we see with StarCraft 2, that is a great game and has tons of multiplayer options. Or games like Tooth and Tail, which came out in 2017, sadly too early for this list, which has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam and also has a ton of multiplayer options to conquer the animal world. Are you new to the RTS genre? Maybe you're tired of games like Black Ops, which was a good game, but it did have a ton of issues with bugs. Or maybe you're just tired of Fortnite Season 19. It's just becoming too much for you. Well, we're going to look into 5 RTS games that came out in 2018 that we think you would like to check out, plus a surprise game thrown in at the end. Maybe something to put on a wish list for your next Steam sale. Or maybe you don't know what real-time strategy is. For me, real-time strategy at its core is about skillful planning and thinking in order to win. Due to this, the challenges you face are often tactical, strategic, and sometimes logistical. Due to these broad concepts, RTS covers a wide range of games. For this list, we're going to focus on games that let you use resources to create units, buildings, and your city to take down your opponent. But enough explaining, I'm sure you're ready to see these games. So let's dive into the first game. Coming in right at the cusp of 2018, we have Kingdom 2 Crowns, the third installment into the Kingdom series, made by Neo and CodeSync. Was released December 11th, 2018 for the PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Kingdoms was an award-winning series where you took the role of a monarch to build up your kingdom from nothing. It was a great game and was well received, though, as the game states, for this game, they did it alone. So what makes Kingdom 2 Crowns different? It still keeps to the same music, look, and feel to the world, though it builds on that challenging micro-strategy experience with an evolution of the franchise by introducing a brand new campaign mode, which allows monarchs to build the kingdom up to stand against those trying to tear them down, and to defeat the evil greed for good. Recruit new unit types with new upgrades to defeat enemies, developed advanced technologies to help bolster your town defenses. Though with this game, you don't roll alone. No, you can play with a friend either locally or online with the ability to come and go as you please. 2 Crowns does a great job on showing you the absolute basics of growing your farm from scratch. You have to hire locals to become your loyal workers by assigning them to certain jobs, like a builder to build walls of defense and to cut down trees to help expand your dominion. Archers hunt local wildlife and bring in a great income source. Farmers sow the land with crops to produce gold on a constant basis. On top of all of that, you have other options we haven't mentioned that will allow you to topple the evil greed that spawns at night. Another neat addition are the mounts, which allows you a new beast for the player to ride once you open up a new island, which is another way to get success and that domination you so desire. Also, there are different seasons that will impact the game, which allows for different challenges each season, along with different ages you can go through, allowing for different types of technology per age: the Wood Age, Stone Age, and Iron Age. This game is a great game for fans of the strategy genre. Yes, it's not the normal top-down viewing, but still works with the same concepts, so grab a friend and build your kingdom together. Our next game is widely known as one of the original RTS games that made RTS what it is today. That is Age of Empires Definitive Edition. This game is a modernization from the game that was launched more than 20 years ago, with an update to graphics, gameplay, and additional features. Made by Xbox Game Studio, currently only available on the Microsoft Store on PC since February 2018, though there are plans that it will come to Steam soon.
not ominous at all.
If you don't know what Age of Empires is, either you've been living in a cave, or just never playing RTS, thus never knowing this great game. Let me tell you what you missed on. This game requires the player to develop a civilization from a few hunter-gatherer civilians to an expansive Iron Age empire. You do this by gathering resources to pay for new units, buildings, and more advanced technology. One unique thing that Age of Empires worked with was that once you use the resource, it's gone, and there's nothing left to collect. While you play on that single-player mode or multiplayer, you must keep that in mind while you work to advance your nation to dominance. The game used to be pretty clunky, working as you can see here. What the Definitive Edition does is not just a remaster. As we mentioned, it helps with graphics by updating to allow for 4K graphics, new gameplay options, and now 8-player multiplayer battles. From the past game, you still have a huge selection of campaigns to cover, with different civilizations including the Babylonians, the Egyptians, the Macedonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Japanese, and you get the idea. There are a ton of nations to play with. In fact, keeping with the previous version of the game, you play as one of these 12 civilizations. You can research in specific buildings to upgrade. For example, religious research would be done in a temple, and improved armor is researched in a storage pit. In addition to these buildings, you get wonders that allow you to win with a great score. The wonders in this game don't produce units or help with resources.
They're just dang pretty to look at, okay?
If you haven't had a chance to play the original game due to not being old like old Grizzly here, maybe like I stated, you've never dipped your toe into the old RTS genre, or you just want to get back into this old game, I would recommend trying it out. It is only on the Microsoft Windows Store at this time. If you want to wait for the Steam release, there's no telling how long that could be. Either way, it's great that this game came back out. Talk about nostalgia. It would be great to see a ton of older RTS games remastered. You know what, we even talked about a few that were left behind. You know what? Make sure you check out our neglected RTS games video we did on RTS games that we want to see come back. It's worth a view. Moving outside the historic, in fact, moving outside of our planet, we have the next game, Surviving Mars, made by Hamimont Games. Came out March 2018 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. On Mars, there's going to be some challenges to overcome. So far, we've focused on the historic with our first two games. This game, however, is focused more on science fiction. Though, if Elon Musk has anything to say, this could be in our near future. Oxygen, water, shelter, and food are your first priorities in this game. That's right, oxygen is a necessity due to your housing being built in sort of a biodome. Mostly the work done is automated to allow for a more realistic approach. Though there are humans out here on this desolate red planet, they work too, to mine, which helps to build houses, farms, schools, hospitals, and even a diner. You can also make factories that take these raw materials to craft them into a new resource, which allows for even more useful structures. While you're building, you need more to satiate you? Well, it's good you were wondering about that, as you can also search the planet for its secrets, including scientific discoveries that supercharge a vast tech tree. These metals you end up mining are valuable to your friends back on Earth. Here, you can set up trade to help with some income. This helps to grow a colony, but not necessarily save it. I mean, you are trying to survive Mars after all. Different than most RTS games, each settlement is dependent on limited and finite resources, which requires you to plan out your buildings. This makes the game take longer to set up as you figure out new buildings or settlements. Careful, as you get a good settlement, this could mean impending disaster, as any hint of abundance or the settlement may trigger the next big strike. This requires you to keep a keen eye on each settlement, as one thought was perfectly fine may all of a sudden collapse. This means there's a lot of micromanagement while you work to survive. Once you have cultivated your own food, minerals, and kept the colonists alive, you can relax at the bar after a hard day's work. Oh, wait, we're not actually here. Man, this game really does draw you in. As you can see, there are plenty of challenges to overcome in this game, and you must be caught on it. Plus, if you have the hidden mysteries you unlock while trying to survive, think you can survive? Make sure you get your hands on this game. Come back down to Earth. Well, a sort of Earth, as we look at our next game called Bad North, developed by Plausible Concept, which came out August 2018 for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC or Mac. What looks like a cute and adorable game could show you that in no way takes itself that way. The consequences are dire with Bad North. It is a basic concept or simple game similar to a puzzle game. You have up to 4 units to hold off waves of Viking invaders. To do this, you must shuffle your units around the island with the best approach to face the enemies. Seems like a simple concept, but gets more complicated as more waves arrive with new enemy types requiring better units to counter. The real solution is to figure out the choke points on the island to have a sorta Spartan 300 moment where you have a few strong units facing all the enemy. In order to help replenish your units, as they are 8 little guys that defend, you will need to make sure you send them to the houses to replenish. If you do not, then you will risk losing that unit forever, allowing for weak points on your line. You start out with simple and easy opening missions with slow waves of opponents. As the game progresses, new waves and new units come out each time with something just a little bit extra to catch you unaware, as one bad decision could have you starting the campaign all over. It is an extremely harsh punishment for a game with such a gentle presentation. There is a campaign map that is randomly generated each game. Here is where you apply upgrades after missions and what island you may want to take on next. After each fight, you get more rewards for how many cottages survived at the end of the level. You can use these rewards to help level up your units, which allows them to take on specialties like an archer or a pikeman. Be careful not to overreach, as when you pick the wrong island and suffer defeat, you have to start all the way over. With the randomly generated campaigns, this allows for different takes on the game, meaning you can move your little units around multiple times as you defend each island. Can you and your people survive? Make sure to pick up Bad North now if you want to give it a go. Moving further north, or more into the winter that has come and isn't going away, we are looking at Frostpunk, made by 11-Bit Studios, released April 2018 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. If you're familiar with 11-Bit Studios, or that somehow sounds familiar to your ear, that is because they also made the post-apocalyptic war survival game called This War of Mine. Unlike the side-scroller 2D action of This War of Mine, Frostpunk takes the aerial view as you work with a city to survive. As the ruler of the last city of Earth, it is your duty to manage both its citizens and its infrastructure, allowing for complex and varied gameplay variations. Initially, when this game came out, it only had the main game, where you work to survive through a giant storm, and then it was over. So many wanted more. 11-Bit Studios did something uncommon in this day and age, and gave the fans what they wanted. They added a survival mode for free, DLC scenarios for free, different playstyles for free, and of course the endless mode that so many asked for free. Wait, did we mention that they added all of this content for free? With all these scenarios, you have multiple options to play to experience with your citizens the harsh reality of the never-ending winter. What makes this game a great strategy game is that it focuses more on morality with the strategy elements. Optimization and resource management often clash with empathy as you are given choices often throughout the game. Should we allow this one lady to be able to let her child survive by not working? Or are you going to be a harsh taskmaster who needs that child to work with the risk of death just to make sure that everyone else can stay warm? On top of these decisions, there's laws that you can enact to help regulate the society, to help provide better healthcare, or just dump those guys right outside in a pit. Who cares about them? Well, inclusion with the laws, you also have order or faith. which allows for more ways to add a further grip on your rule over the unruly people. While you do more than just enforce laws, you need to develop new technologies to help keep your people alive through the cold nights, and send out scouts to find out if anyone else is out there. This all melds together while you try to survive without people starving, the reactor blowing up, and no one freezing. This game won Game of the Year for many people last year, and I think it is a great game. After spending several hours playing this myself, it is well worth a playthrough to see if you can survive the harsh winter. Surprise! We have one extra game for this list. Our last game we're looking at was a runner-up for the top 5 list. In fact, it was so good we couldn't leave it off the list, and that is Northgard, made by Shiro Games and came out March 7th, 2018. A game with the melding of Nordic and Viking themes that features the old school RTS look. Northgard throws in a new mix to the RTS genre, as you not only need to build up an army to attack and expand your empire, as is the norm, but you also have to micro-level sim-like manage to take into consideration. Your Vikings can be assigned jobs and roles that will aid in your survival and of course conquering. Unlike most RTS, which focus on the ultimate domination of your enemy, Northgard allows for some different win conditions that give players more options to approach this game. You can choose up to 6 clans to help tame the unforgiving wilderness, plus 3 more additional clans that have since been added from the initial release. And the campaign has over 11 chapters to help allow for a deep story. Like the game we just talked about, winter is a huge factor in this game. Either the best RTS last year were obsessed with the Norse, the North, or winter. I can't decide. Winter is definitely a challenge to overcome as you prepare for the unknown. To handle this, you must use worker placement and preparation, which, funny enough, are the 2 most important things in Northgard. Meaning, if you have a warband just sitting on his haunches eating, well, get that guy up, as you can change his job to help him become a fisherman or a farmer, as everyone has a part to play in this game. With everyone helping, and if you prepared correctly with the right buildings, you can survive the harsh northern winters. Each clan has different victory conditions you may be working through, like fame, which is one of the unique resources in this game. It is the representation of the clan's great deeds. Say you kill a wyvern, or defeat another player, that helps to unlock bonuses, which helps to drive exploration to kill those foes to increase the fame of your clan. While the campaign is fun to play, there are also skirmish modes, which is a sandbox area you can shake off the manacles of the campaign to freely take on the harsh north. This game has a ton of excellence in campaign, skirmish, and all the neat details it provides. Conquer the north with your Vikings, or will the winter best you? Make sure you check out all 6 of these games. As stated throughout the video, they are all out and worth a grab. If you want to wait for a sale, then that works too. There's been plenty of awesome games on this list, but if you feel like we may have missed some RTS games from 2018, please leave a comment below. Or if you have these games, tell us what you enjoyed about them. Also, make sure to leave a like on the video, as it helps the channel out, and make sure to subscribe to keep up to date for any new videos coming out. Make sure to keep an eye out for the rest of the top 5 games from 2018, as this is a series we plan to keep on putting out. This is the Steel Grizzly with Gamers Among Us, and I do wish you luck with all your future games.